Look at my glasses. Hold on. Okay, okay. Okay, hold on. It's the wrong pair of glasses. But somehow I will get by. Okay. I'll do this. All right. Let's see how we can do this. Of course. This marker's like half dry. I see some hearts there by Samuel Holloway. Hello, Samuel. There's a little more artwork for you to see here. It's the main character transforming into this other character. And he's, like Homelander or Superman. He's got these laser beam eyes, and he blows off the roof of the house that he's inside, which is his house, actually. So what's going on, Samuel? I don't think I've seen you before. Are you new to this channel? I do a lot of interaction with the chat. I'm new. Well, welcome. How about I'll give you a little look at my art book so that you can be a little more familiar with the stuff I do. So give me a second here. Can you hear the music? I'll get like a copyright strike from YouTube for playing this music, but I guess that's how I roll. Anyway, just I could probably turn it down a bit, but anyway, this is my book. So zoom out just a touch there for you, and it's got poetry and fine art, like conceptual art, mixed media, things of this nature, some portraits, and then like fantasy illustration work. That and more fantasy illustration work, and then this is the comic I was just drawing now. It's called Militia Man. It's a character I created, and so this book has some of my comics in it, some different pieces that I did in the past. Look at that. And so it's a pretty nice compilation of different work that I've done. And there you go. And now you know. Now you are in the know, my man. How about yourself? Are you an artist? How did I'm just curious how my show popped up in your feed. And also hello to the 3 other people watching that are too shy to comment. I don't bite. Just so you know, I don't bite. I draw some now. That's cool. What do you like to draw? We get a lot of manga people on this channel. Let's see, I used to draw lots of Kirby and Minecraft comics. Oh, interesting. Are you going to see the Minecraft movie? I've been seeing all these clips of like people at the end of the film go crazy when Jack Black says something and then they all throw their popcorn in the air. I'm not like a Minecraft guy. I'm a little older than that generation. My son likes it, or liked it. Yeah, he still likes it, I guess. But like, I don't get that. Like, what are they all excited about? Maybe. Okay. Hey, Donald. Hey there, sir. How we doing, big guy? Good to have you. T-bone practice. I subbed, by the way. Oh, cool. Very good. All right. Well, we'll see you next time, bro. Keep on rocking in the free world. As long as we still have free speech. The whole debacle of like, you know, shutting down free speech of, you know, all criticism of Israel is illegal. You know, it's like great way to make everybody your enemy. You know what I mean? Excuse me. I was online looking at comments. It was actually an NPR. You guys know NPR. It's like a very liberal news outlet, and they were talking about it in there, and someone came on and was like, I'm Jewish, and I hate that the government is doing this because, like even that person knows like what's going to happen, the kickback or whatever, the effect of that is going to backfire pretty hard, which it's already backfiring. The Young Turks just did a thing on it, and then Candace Owens did a thing on that, and like they were showing clips of each other on this topic. It's so rare that you know the left and the right would agree on anything, and it's kind of amazing, frankly. I mean, I think there's something for like the Young Turks to be sympathetic to Candace Owens and vice versa is like, I don't know, historic, really. I mean, that's really, really rare. And if this cause can, kind of unify the two sides, I think this would be great. It'll blow up in the face of Israel and the Jewish hegemony and tyranny that we live under. That'd be fantastic. What was it? I can't pronounce the guy's name. Cenk or something. He's the Turkish dude from the Young Turks. He's like a hardcore liberal, hardcore. Absolutely hates white people and all of that shit. Like he's not our friend. You know what I mean? But like Charlie Kirk had him on. I forget what it was. Like some sort of like I forget the name of the damn show. It's like one of those famous conservative political convention shows. Anyway, and like he had him on just after Trump got in to sort of kind of like be like, hey, look, the two sides can unite and something, this and that, and I don't know, it scared me because I thought, oh, great, is this the new conservatism? Is like just liberalism with a mask or something? Like what the hell, Because I thought if Kamala Harris won, do you think they would have Charlie Kirk on for a guest? No. you know, Rum Rum is here. I always swing by to like your vids because they are awesome, and You are talented and inspiring. It's 2 a.m. here. I've got work at 5 in 5 hours. Blessing to you, sir. Well, Rum Rum, that is the coolest freaking thing ever. You just made my day, and I really appreciate it. I'm not in the best of moods right now, so like that means a lot to me, and I thank you. I thank you sincerely. Mucho, thank you. Oh, see, guys, I'm working on my Spanish. Woohoo! Espanolio, cornholio. That was the dumbest joke I ever said. Oh my god, I'm losing it. Call an ambulance. He's losing it. Not like my jokes were that great to begin with. Anyway, I'm just doing some stuff here. We still got 5 people lingering, which is fine. You guys can linger as long as you like. Linger on. That's kind of like that could be a t-shirt, linger on. Kind of like back in the day in the 70s that had the dude walking down the road and he'd had his thumb up and he's like, keep on trucking. And something like that. I don't know. What the hell am I talking about? Ah, yes, another day of Zog. Zoggy Woggy. Speaking of Zog, we never did Friday's Zog Comics review. My man there is got a really, really, really hard job, and it's kicking his tail. and he couldn't make it Friday. I was actually really beat Friday too. I managed to go out Friday night though and have a good time. This Saturday is gonna be lit. Got some really, really, really good DJs playing one of a certain venue that I go to, and it's gonna be lit. It's just it's hit and miss. Like last Saturday was shit. There was nothing. I mean, there's DJs around, but I don't like them. You know, they're not all good. You know. This one guy, like he's a nice guy. We're real friendly and stuff, but his music's slightly weird. I think it's cool that DJs have like kind of creative, free reign or whatever. That's fine or what have you. But it's a type of a thing where, like, dude, read the room. Like if people are not dancing and they're standing around, then you're not doing your fucking job. Like, get a vibe going, and then keep it going. And let people dance. That's why we came out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, and I drive a little distance to get in there. You get the idea. So anyway, what's the deal? What am I saying here? Anyway, so the thing is that, like, for some reason though, he kind of brings in a crowd of like just like druggy type dudes, and it's not the best vibe, because they're all just kind of standing there, kind of just standing around, and I'm like, well, and if it's all dudes, like, what's the fucking point? You want to dance with girls, I didn't come over here for a sausage fest, it's cool if it's like, oh, you run into a buddy or two and you get to kind of hang out and chat or something, but it doesn't keep me for long. I'll be like, well, shit, I guess this is a blowout, so I'm out of here. Thanks for wasting a trip. Maybe I'll swing across town to see if there's some other club that's got something going on. And it's a hit and miss kind of dealio, because there is this other club that always has good music, but the space of the club, it used to be a restaurant, and there's just no place to dance. Like, everybody's jammed together against the bar, and it's after a certain hour, it's like almost impossible to get out, because it's literally wall-to-wall people back to back. And it's definitely a fire hazard. Like, this is totally fucking illegal. I was literally there once when there was like a fire alarm went off. I forget what the deal was. I'm usually really like tuned in to my environment. I have kind of like ninja senses. I just, I always sort of keeping an eye on shit, like making sure that, no fights pop off or anything stupid like that. And I had the sense I could see the red lights flashing out the window, and I kind of had a look, and I saw like there's a fucking fire truck outside. So I grabbed my jack and left like immediately, which wasn't easy because I still had to like grind through a lot of people. And you do get like the douchebags that are like, and I've had guys like push me, because I had to like squeeze by them to get out. And then they're like, they'll shove me from behind, like, like just douchebags, And like, again, you're like a sardine in there. So like, it's pretty much the worst possible conditions to fight, I mean, if like fists start swinging, then I'm going to go full Wing Chun on them, like I'll break it down, but I'm not gonna, not gonna engage. Um, there was actually another time where that did happen. I was in the same club but a different room, and again, the music was freaking awesome, and everybody was having a great time. Gorgeous, gorgeous girls, wall to wall, beautiful women, which is my primary motivation. And there was just some tall, retarded, douchebag, jock type guy. And I don't know, somebody gave him the wrong look and he reached across and started like swinging at him. And there's like girls in between the two guys that are getting like, shuffled around in between this thing. Hey, Victorian, what we doing, bruh? Um, just talking about, you know, scuffles in bars and stuff. And so then you're at a place where, like, I mean, my instinct actually is to like protect the women. But somehow or other, like, I think maybe one of his buddies sort of calmed him down. That's another dynamic to these like bar brawls is there's always a bunch of buddies there that are like, yo man, cool down, chill out, man, yo, chill out, fucking assholes. These guys are such assholes. Like, if you got issues, man, take it out somewhere else, man. Like, don't come in here and do that shit. So, like, I have some liberal friends that won't go to that bar for that exact reason. It's kind of interesting because these like far left liberals they have a term for these guys. They call them the bros. And but they say it like a derogatory term. The bros. There's too many bros there, and the bros are literally white guys. It means like straight, you know, straight up like normal conservative, not necessarily conservative, but just like normal white guys from the suburbs, I guess. That like come from decent families and dress well and have good haircuts and you know expensive sneakers. I don't know. Just like kind of normie college bros. And to me that's like I like bro is a good thing. I use that term all the time, but it just sort of indicates that whole hatred of masculinity. The bros. Ugh, there's too many bros here. There's a lot of bro energy here. There's too much bro energy here tonight. I don't know. There's too many bros here. I mean, this is the shit they'll say. And they have no idea how far right I am. Which is funny to me. But and then I'll be like, hey, we want to meet up at this club. This awesome DJ something something. I'm like, no, I don't feel comfortable at that place. There's too many bros there. Oh, all right. Well, I'm going. I'll see you. Bye. So, I guess they're just prejudiced, basically. It kind of comes back to my comment that I was saying the other day that like I have this new idea that like the true fulcrum of all politics comes down to one simple question. Do you love or hate white people? Think about that. Just take a minute to think about that. What do we got here? Hey, they are putting on a show for the women. That's a lot of it. I think there's a lot of bravado or what have you. Hey there, Mr. Hippocratic Oath. My whole thing is like kill them with kindness, like disarm people with a smile and a joke. I mean, there are some dudes that are just douchebags, and they want to like try to play the alpha and shit like that, and they'll do little stupid games and shit. But that's not a big deal to me, you know. Got a little Nick Drake music going on in the background here. You guys know Nick Drake? It's a very tragic story about this guy. It's like a really, really talented uh, English folkster from like the 70s or something, and he was like promised a record deal and all this shit, and and then like put out some records, and I don't know the exact details. I think it's some kind of like the record industry screwed him kind of thing, you know. And he ended up killing himself because of it, you know. So it's pretty shitty. But if you hear his music, it definitely has like a sorrow to it, you know. That I'm vibing with lately. I promise I will not go Donnie Darko on you tonight, though. Okay, guys? Don't worry about it. Donnie Darko. Wow, I just created a new iteration of Donald Kent. Donnie Darko. I don't really understand that film. Did anybody see that film? I'm not sure I really get it. I saw like I don't know, one of those like film review shows where they explain it, you know. And I don't know, whatever, you know. Whatever. So, what do we got here? Tommy John's here. That was a great movie. So, what did it mean, Tommy John? Give me your interpretation of that film. It was a very interesting movie. I liked it, but I can't say I understood it exactly. YouTube's not even going to be able to give me a strike for this music because they don't know what it is. They're like, we want to strike this video, but we don't know how because we don't have taste in music. I had a big positive thing today. Yeah, it's really I'm like about to tell you, and it suddenly hit me. Well, some of it's not so positive, but I'm the executor of my mom's estate, and I have like these legal duties to report on monies and blah 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 blah. Blah. It's like I'm the fucking worst person in the world for this kind of job. Like, I mean, you know, keeping track of accounting of an estate. That's like fucking kryptonite to me. You know, that's like the total opposite of how I operate. You know, and there's a lot more to it that's just ugly, and I'm not going to get into. But one of the I don't know what to call it. Like there was an organization that was not really sort of cooperating and delaying the whole thing and making it agonizing, and they finally got off their fucking asses and did their job. And so that's like a big relief to me, basically. If you guys have ever had to be the executor of an estate, then you'd understand. Legal shit is not it's not my world, you know. Like I'm not. One thing I can tell you is I'm sure not all lawyers are bad, but I got like the worst one, you know. Naturally, right? Right, right. Oh, come on. Oh, you manifested it. It's your karma. Okay. Um, so what else have we got here? That was a great movie. No interpretations of the film. Um, what's his face? Jake Gyllenhaal or Gyllenhaal. Can't pronounce his name. It's fucked up. Of course, he's a Jew, but I gotta say he does have a lot of screen presence. He He can carry a film, you know. Um, but I don't know. He seems like a very kind of a fucked up person. I think a lot of times memes make you like really really get into like an actor because of the memes. And then when you hear them actually talk, you're like, wow, this guy's actually not, he's nothing like the meme, you know? It kind of disillusions you, you know? Um, like, oh, you're not really Homelander. Wait a minute. Hmm. Anyway, um, I think I'm probably gonna need to put on some more fun music in a second here. What should it be? What's some good, enjoyable music to listen to? Rolling Stones, um, The Police, no more Pink Floyd, not tonight, not tonight. What do we got here? I think he could see ahead in time and it made him mentally unstable, so that it is why he ended it to save his girlfriend. That is actually what they said in that film review, was that somehow or other this he could see ahead in time. And there's that weird thing about that. It's like a plane that crashed on like his house or somebody's house. I don't remember how that played out. Shit, I just made a big mistake here. Stop fucking talking. Um, it's a weird film. But I tend to like weird films, and I like films that kind of that make you think. I give you something to think about. Instead of just mindless entertainment. I look at it like if I'm gonna invest the time into this film, that there better be a fucking payoff. That's how I see it. But we still have the problem of what music do we want to put on. Van Halen, Leonard Skinner. Um, I always draw a blank when I have to think of good music. I could put on some house music or maybe some jazz. Like that dark jazz yesterday was actually pretty cool. I don't know, it just had a really neat mood to it. Um, there's a band called All Them Witches. Did you ever hear them? It's a certain kind of genre. It's like a kind of psychedelic rock, throwback, retro rocky kind of thingy, something or other. It's like a lot of these bands today. they don't know how to be original. They have to kind of like rehash the past. You know what I'm saying? Um, Something like that. What do we got? The rabbit was, I think, the evil part of his thoughts. Hola, está cool. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome back, Rosamel Santos Ventura. Where are you from? Donde está? How do I say, where are you from? Somebody help me. Hippocratic Oath. Do you know how to say that? Luis Gustavo Rocha. What a beautiful name. Oh my God. What an amazing name. It's very powerful. Thank you. So, yes. Nice drawing. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. So, yeah, I'm kind of working on this little piece down here, though. This is what's up. Dominican Republic. Oh, very good. Very good. I know you guys are not friendly with Puerto Ricans, but I've been to Puerto Rico a couple times myself. So I have enjoyed the Caribbean. It's nice, nicey. Very good. I don't know what's happened to the music, but it's kind of interesting. Maybe I'll show you guys a couple more art pages. I don't know, it looks like maybe some of you guys are new, so I'll kind of give you a look at some artwork, okay? Just a little candy for your eyes. Okay, hold on a second here. Hold on a second here. Yeah, something going on with this music. Maybe some King Crimson. I should put on King Crimson. Anyway, so here are some pages from the comic book. This is coming next. This will be the next page. I better set that aside. There's Militia Man. Yes, Caribbean, yes. I love your music. Mm-mm-mm. No, time for a commercial. On YouTube. Yeah. Oh, Tom Waits. Oh, freaking awesome. Tom Waits is perfect for tonight. That is what I need. I know what you need. I've been listening to Spurgy music lately, so this low music is a good change. What do you mean, Spurgy? Like, give me an example. I have a buddy that played. I'm trying to read this. I have a buddy that played house music in the early 90s in raves in Detroit. Holy shit. Underground scene went by Omega Man, played with Richie Hawtin. So that's legendary. What you're talking about is pretty much legendary. Like, my thing is, like, I love to dance. I really enjoy going out dancing, but I don't know all the stuff about, like, the history and the names and, who's who in the DJ world. And like, I just bought tickets for this major event in where I live, and people are like, "Oh wow, the opening act is Joe Schmo," and I'm like, "Oh, cool." And meanwhile, I'm like, I have no idea who Joe Schmo is. But anyway, how do you guys like these pages? Is this good or bad? It's total shit, right? Total garbage. Scarlatti Sonata Kate 427 in G major. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Le Cyclops. Wow. Yo. What's good, Brother Kent? How's it going? Awesome work with the drawing. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Mr. Shadow. Good to have you back. Good to have you back. A little bit of superhero action going down here. Rawr. This guy has like supersonic scream powers. He would fit right in with the X-Men. These pages are not in order, by the way, but you can kind of get the sense of what's going on here, I guess. I still like your work. It's got that 70s style, dude. I completely intend that. Like, that's not an accident, bro. Not an accident, my bro. This gets a little gory. Sorry, this comic is not for kids. I don't have any gratuitous sex scenes though, but there are some boobies in there. You know, I like all the chaotic movement in the comic. You know, that's that's the whole deal. You know what I'm saying? Is like it's films on paper. I've only said that like a trillion times. And the way the eye moves through the panel, there's going to be word balloons in here. There's going to be sound effects, you know, and it's got to be like, how do I say it? Like a symphony for the eyes, like sort of eye candy per se. And the way that the panels walk like steps down the page. And then once again, there'll be word balloons in here and here and here. And you also have to see it in the context of like you're reading a book. So you're turning pages, turning pages, turning pages. And you want the reader to get into the flow of the story. So they're going to turn the page and then soak up the whole page. And then, hear this, read through what's happening and then feel something and literally get pulled into the story. I like, you could make this a movie one day if you could get it scanned. So I scanned the pages, and then I just got 10 pages lettered. I pay somebody to do that, and it's not bad. It's pretty good. There's a couple, like change this, change that type stuff. Overall, it's okay. To me, the big issue is getting it colored. So coloring a comic book is extremely expensive. So I'm gonna have to run what do you call it, like a fundraiser. You know, this marker is way too big. And that's down the road. That's down the road. So like the whole process is to build my audience over time, and then you know, maybe this is a little too thick. And then like hit everybody up for a donation to colorize the whole book. Each page could be like $100 to $200 for coloring. Now, times 150 pages, how much money is that? So like, a lot of fucking money. I don't have that kind of dough lying around, so that's why it would require a fundraiser of some kind. So, but when you see the colored pages, you'll lose your mind. It's really gorgeous, and it'll be very good. Very good though. So very good though. Me with the Japanese accent again. Maybe I should do a Spanish accent. Carlito, man, how you doing? I heard you a legend on the street, man. Carlito is I'm Benny Blanco from the Bronx. Remember me? It's payback time. No van de solo. I like to do accents, so if you guys are, don't be surprised. It's just acting. I'm just practicing my acting skills. Okay. Great work, great work. Drawing, keep up, great work. I still like your works. Yes. Your comic is not as gory as The Last Judgment by Vasari, and that's in a church. You are not being gratuitous. I don't like being gratuitous. I don't like gore, to be honest. I mean, there was a phase I went through when I was younger, and I was into, you know, Fangoria magazine, and there's still something about like the, you know, like heavy metal comics and all that that I like. But I feel as for myself though, that's not. I don't know. There's just something about it that's like not me. It's a kind of it's a. I find it offensive in a way, and I don't know. It's sort of. This is gonna. I don't want to say low class, but you know, but like it's got a certain something to it that is just. If you can get away with not being gratuitous, then do it. But there's times when you have to do it. It's essential to the story. You know, I'll never ever do something gratuitous just because, you know, like bleh, that kind of shit. To me, that's like kind of adolescent. You know, it's kind of bad. I find that annoying. You know, like gore porn or whatever. Like I hate that type of shit. I really hate that shit. You know? If I watch a movie and I see like something really unbearably violent or whatever, I feel like the director just took a shit in my brain, you know? Like I have to have that in my memory forever. Fuck you, you know, like this is my, you know what I mean? I mean, the problem with me is I'm too serious. I'm too sensitive. I internalize everything. It's really just part of being an artist. This is a kind of normal. This is what artists are. What we do. We can't really help it, but perhaps that's what allows us to make good art. Is this internalizing? But it can be hell though. You know, it really can be hell. You know, you hear about artists killing themselves and shit. It's because they feel way stronger than other like normal people. You know, it can be very dangerous. So this is coming together. I think it's going to be time for some brush work in a second. Victorian time traveler. If I ever became a DJ, I would name myself DJ Cyclops. Cool. I'd play the scene with the X-Men pilot episode. Cool. Who are you, Cyclops? Get down when the bass whoop drops. Dude, get on it, man. Fucking get on it. Like yesterday. Mr. Shadow says, one day I plan on making an art museum to put my art in. Would you be interested in being part of it? Are you kidding me? Of course, dude. Freaking of course, bro. Like, don't do it without me, man. I'm serious, man. Like, I totally want that. Tommy John says, your work would be cool colored, but it is still amazing black and gray. Thank you. If you go to my website, you can see colored pages. I didn't color them, though. They're like... there was a job I did with comic skate author John Della Rose, and we hired a dude, you know, to colorize that piece. So anyway, but still, it's fun and it's nice, you know. Check it out. So yeah, no, and this will have a big kaboom, over it as well. The Mark Collette accent is still the best accent so far. Really, Mark needs to do the trailer for the Militiaman movie. Ooh, wow, that'd be good, bro. Yeah, that's a great idea. Wow. Like I said, every time I do my Mark Collette, I feel like it's not quite right. I don't know what town he comes, prefecture, whatever the fuck where exactly he's from. So if I became a bit more familiar with that, I think I could do a more accurate version. You know what I'm saying? Like the different regional accents. It's kind of funny, you know. I'm excited to hear back from him about doing more shows, as you can imagine. Oh, so many, many, many. Yeah, I think it's time I can do a little brushwork here. Get the brush going. All right, you don't do things just for. Hold on. You don't do things just for shock value. I respect that. Did you ever read The War of Art? The War of Art. I've read The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Can you tell me more about this, The War of Art? That sounds fascinating, and nice to have you here, Matt. You need a Fash Force character modeled after Mark Collette. Now you're talking. Now you're talking. When you make characters, like this, I mean, I would if I did that, you wouldn't really. I mean, only people in the movement would get it. It would be like a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing. It's a little like every character is essentially an analogy for something, an allegory, for something. But there's no specific like this guy is that guy kind of thing going on there. It's nothing, not quite that specific. I'd say that like Militia Man is an amalgamation of, Captain America, Superman, these kind of like Boy Scout superhero types. In the Marvel movies, there was kind of a funny joke where like, the Avengers are off on some adventure and somebody would swear and then like Captain America would say, watch the language. And then they started like making fun of him for it, like he was a grandma or some kind of thing. But I find that sort of funny and charming in its own way. Militiaman, I don't. He's not from like the 1950s, but he's just like a good, wholesome Aryan American. You know what I mean? Like he's just got that good, wholesome American blood. The whole. You know, he just is very trusting, not trustworthy. Well, he's trustworthy, but one thing about whites is that they just trust the system. They just believe in. It's kind of like believing in Santa Claus. They just believe that the government has your best interest in mind. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like children. They really are. And I don't say that condescendingly. I think that that's what we. It's like that meme, like remember what they took away from you. That whole thing. Uh, so, um, yeah. Wow, let's read some chats. The War of Art: Break Through the Blocks and Win Your Creative Battles by Stephen Pressfield. I have the Kindle version. I haven't finished it, but do recommend. Well, I will have to look into it. My whole gig is, well, okay. I'm an artist. Okay, I'm like possessed by the demon of art. That I cannot break free from this. I have to do this. But the thing is, one wants to, frankly, be, rich. Become and rich so that you're free. Financially free. So it doesn't I don't have to be rich, but to be free to do this full time and everything else that I want full time. That's the goal. So if this book has that answer, I'll read it. You know what I mean? Because that's the conundrum of this whole fucking life. And the problem is there's like 10 million zillion people out there with a plan, and they all, like my algorithm is just, oh, it's exhausting with all the, like, you know marketing plans, or this business or that business, and I've tried a lot of them, and I've been, fucked basically out of so much money, for trying different programs and this and that. It didn't work. You have to fucking try. You have to try. You gotta figure something out, because, like, you can't make it in this world. You can't make it in America. You gotta have a side gig of some kind. Anyway, where else? Where am I going with this? So yeah, that's that. I have so many damn digital books. The Belief in Orange Man is off the charts. He endorsed the Vivek Ramaswamy, and now is at 77% in the GOP primary for Ohio governor. Fucking asshole. Fucking cunt. What a piece of shit. Fucking hate Trump. What an asshole. What a stupid fucking asshole. What a piece of shit, dude. I mean, just like... I mean, Kash Patel as the FBI director? Are you retarded? No, it's all according to plan. It's all according to plan. It's all going as scheduled. You know what's really hitting hard, though, is this whole, like, making anti-Semitism illegal thing. The whole critiquing Israel is terrorism bullshit. That's just complete fuckery. You know, Warren Balow and Emily Yukis did a show on this Jew who is he's got some political position in Florida, and like how he got into politics, and how he's running the show is regarding like being able to fuck people, send them to jail for any kind of critique of Israel. I mean, this is welcome to American Bolshevism, literally. You guys, your history. We're here. It's here. The things that we have been fucking fighting against for years are fucking here. They're here. And like, at the beginning of the show, before you guys came on, I was talking about Candace Owens and the Young Turks. They did a spot on each other on their own shows, pointing out that this issue of putting people in jail for criticizing Israel is like the number one issue in America. Because of the free speech issue, and how both the Young Turks and Candace Owens would be going to if these Jews get their way, that they'd be going to jail. And these jails are like just torture houses. They're not like you're not sitting around drinking mimosas. They fucking torture you in there. You know, you're better off dead than going to these fucking jails. You know, and every time I think about like a federal officer that like tries to threaten me or manipulate me, and I realize this, and you think like, you know, she's got a child, you know, like she's what happens to her child? Grows up without a mother who's languishing in jail because she told the truth about Israel and Jewish power. And like this is what my message is to all law enforcement is switch sides. Switch sides. In fact, turn in these criminals, you know, go after the ones that are threatening free speech. Oh no, 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 can't do that. I'll lose my pension. Okay, then you're just a criminal then. You're not a sheepdog, you're not protecting anybody. You're fucking everybody. You know, you think you're protecting us? No. You're enforcing the fucking tyranny if you're doing that, you know. So I pray that those people will have a conscience and do the right thing. And you know what? Maybe if they do that, then they'll be, you know, they'll get a target on their back. I don't know, you know, because this is where we're going, guys. Like this is Bolshevism. Well, what's Bolshevism? Well, there's this thing called the internet. You can look it up. It's essentially Jewish terrorism, and history is repeating itself. Yes, sirree, blob. God. All right, I'll stop with the dark posting shit. What else can we say? Let's talk happy talk. Happy, happy, joy, joy. We are too trusting. That's true. Uh-oh, we're back to the nightmare panel. This one here or the night. This is the nightmare panel right here. That's the nightmare panel, and we're not done with that. Or rather, we are done with that. I finished it off camera. Captain Codpiece. Oh, charming. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm okay. I guess I get your point because you're. Well, okay. Here, I'll just go like this, and then I'll have that off screen there for you. DDD. What do we got? I make P Diddy look like a peanut. How you doing? Okay, charming. P Diddy is a piece of shit. He can go to hell for all the shit that he's done. He's just a rapist, really. No different than the Jews that set him up, you know. What was I watching recently? There was an interview with Prince, of all people, talking about the music industry, and I guess Candace Owens said something about, like, she was implying that Prince got whacked, basically, that he didn't die of natural causes. I don't know if that's true or not, but, like, I don't know. It's a whole lot of conspiracies going on, you know. Oh, I think I see an explosion. You're about to ink. What's this here? Let's just hide those retarded comments. Orange Man is talking about sending homegrowns to El Salvador. He told Bukele to build 5 more prisons. That's fucking bad. Icky is here. Love the drawing. Well, why, thank you, Icky. That's an interesting name. Or is it Icy? Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Sorry. Homegrowns. So when you say homegrowns, are you talking about immigrants? Yeah. Oh, Icy. Okay, sorry about that. I'm sorry. I should learn to read. Okay. The Minecraft song is stuck in my head now. Thanks, lol. All I have to do is think about it. Fortunately, it's very relaxing. I don't know the Minecraft song. My son likes Minecraft. Or liked it. He's a little... I don't know if he's outgrown it. I think it's a pretty creative game though, because the whole world building thing. Um, One thing I've always I've never kind of understood in the gaming world is like how low quality graphics are considered cool or whatever. Like I'm a high quality graphics guy, like there's a video game called Destiny that is just really really wicked. It's just really cool. It's kind of futuristic, otherworldly type stuff, science fiction, Star Warsy kind of world, and the graphics are gorgeous. The designs are cool as hell. Uh, all of that, and then I see like Roblox, and I'm like, "Nah." But I guess the younger you are, the more simple your mind is, or something, and maybe like it's just more palatable for kids or something. I don't know. I think there's some logic to that. I should think so. Let's move on here. So yeah, maybe we'll switch pages. We'll get on to a different page here. Hang tight. Um, Here we go. This is what we started last night. So we'll work on this one. Gentle Giant. All right. Love the drawing. Thank you so much. Um, the Minecraft song. I already read this. Okay, I guess I'm crazy. But let's talk about something, guys. What do we got? What's in the lineup here? We got anti-Semitism. We got uh, comic books. We got movies. We got what else? What else? Um, Trump. What else? What do we got? What do we got? We got 110 countries and counting, baby. Woo! Yeah. My take on things is that like the more kind of cocky and arrogant the Jews get, the more they expose themselves. You know what I'm saying? And as such, they're kind of doing our work for us in a way. Does that make sense? Now, does that resonate with you guys, or do you think whatever, they still control everything? It's not going to change. Like, what's your take on these things? I think I read that the South Park creators pay extra to give their comic that cheesy paper cutout look. Graphic artists are so good, they have to make an effort to do a retro style. Um, yeah, I don't know if they're using like Flash animation now or what they're using, but yeah, I don't know. I've never liked that. I've never ever been into. I mean, I've had a million people say like, "Oh my God, what do you? Oh, South Park is so great and so funny," and I'm like, I hate the art. I mean, I guess I'm a snob. Honestly, I really am. I'm like an art snob. It's like if the graphics are lowbrow and shitty, and how I can't like it. I can't watch it. It's just like too irritating to my eyes, I guess. Sorry. Sorry for being an art snob. So this little graphic device here is You might have seen this in like movies or video games or something. So he starts floating up. He can fly, of course, but he's sort of floating in the air. But there's this kind of like beam around him, and it's got these sort of like glittery bits in it, and like in the last scene, the last page, last scene, shot, whatever, can't. It's this. Okay, and so you can kind of see the formation of the beam behind him a little bit on these Kirby dots. And then it switches out to that. So, again, it's that transformation thing that he's going through. They always get cocky and overstep. It's their undoing. Well, see, that's the thing that I keep kind of telling people, because, like, a lot of my friends are sort of nervous right now. There's plenty of reason to be nervous. But at the same time, I'm like, these are the things that accompany change. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm going to put on some old, what do you call it? Like Foxtrot or some old Genesis. That'd be cool. Yeah. Give me a second here. Hold on a second here. Okay, hang tight. I'm gonna put some Tuna John. Tuna Roonies. Hold your horses. All right, here we go. After this commercial break. So, yeah, it's this is what we do. We kind of keep our eye on the pulse of media, politics, etc. Usually anti-Semitism doesn't leach into my financial stuff. I take it as a sign our message is so pervasive. Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's actually a really good point. It says a lot. Like, we're there, we are there. Nick Fuentes had a really interesting thing the other day where he was talking about, like, you're not going to get people like Charlie Kirk to come around to us or whatever. He knows what's going on, but he's paid off. You know what I'm saying? He's paid off. And I would say that obviously Tim Pool's paid off. Louder with clam chowders definitely paid off. I love seeing like the true face of these fuckers, I don't believe that Ian Carroll is paid off or part of anything. I don't know where he is quite yet on the map, I think he still has that liberal sensibility of like, hey guys, let's all be logical and let's all, like, let's work it out, man. And I don't know, he can't really find his place in the political landscape because the truth, like, only Jews and Nazis know the truth. They're the only ones that really know what's going on. And he stumbled upon it, he's like, let's go down this rabbit hole. you know, what do they say? Like, be careful what you wish for, And now what are you gonna do? Like you're out there. You've stepped in it, as they say. And I wish the best for him. I think I mean, I don't know that he's there yet, quote, there yet, you know what I mean? But I don't think he's, you know, like a paid whatever. He might be afraid to, like, go there, so to speak, you know? Because it's, you know, dangerous. It's getting more and more evident how dangerous it is to go there, you know what I mean? Of man's own earth. I don't know if you guys can hear the music. It's an album by Genesis with Peter Gabriel called Foxtrot. If you were a good prog rock nerd like I am, you would know. Spy. Judge not this race by empty remains. Do you judge God by his creatures when they're dead? What the fuck? The lizard shed his tail. This is the end of man's long union with earth. It's a beautiful song. Crowder's not paid off. He's a Jew himself. What? Well, there you go. Oh my God. You know that moment when you find out? You know that moment? Like, I just had that moment. And it's like, what? You know, like, that's such a... I think I might have told you guys, there's a friend of mine, his brother has this, like, joke game called Name the Jew. It's like a... You know, whenever we're out having a beer or whatever, he'll be like, hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again for Name the Jew. And the dude's insane. Like, he can... Like, he can just rattle off hundreds of names, like, in all kinds of different industries. You know, obviously Hollywood is a huge one, you know. But, you know, things like, you know, Phil Spector, you know, or whatever. It just goes on, and every once in a while he'll hit a name, and I'll be like, no! Oh, I like that guy, you know, or whatever, you know. And... it's just part of the landscape that we're in. Anyway, Ian Carroll is a barista hipster that stumbled onto the JQ and watered it down, mixed with not all for Joe Rogan. Currently, yes. That is true. I think that him and Candace Owens, there's something there. Like, he's more on the Candace Owens side than the Joe Rogan side, if you know what I mean. I mean, anybody can debate me or contradict me. They don't have to believe what I say. But I still have faith in him. I'm just going to put it that way. I still have faith in him, you know. How this all plays out, we'll see. That was the first yawn, guys. And it's not even 11, so shut up. I guess for me, what's interesting about Ian Carroll is he's like a study in how people come to the truth. You know, how they they figure it out, and then they realize, holy shit, I'm in the middle of a minefield, and I gotta kind of, should I go forward or should I back out? Like, how do I get out of this? How do I get through this? You know what I mean? It's because like he's in it now, like it's what he does, but you know, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how the whole thing pans out. So I'm cool with him as a gateway namer. Good. Okay. As time goes on, I'm more and more sorry, intolerant of the not all crowd. I mean, there's truth to it, but I think if you're really, really deep into this study, you know that it's kind of inconsequential. How else do I put it? Like, I kind of always say like those aren't the ones that we're worried about. There's enough of them that are in on it that that's what matters. Yeah. I don't know. Is that a faulty view? Do you think what I just said has merit or is incorrect in some way? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. That'd be an interesting discussion. Let's see. I'm cool. Oh, two AIs are saying Steven Crowder is not Jewish. Is there any references? Makes sense. Okay. I did see that somewhere as well. I just forgot about it. So I can't say for sure. Like I just don't know for sure. Oops. Um, yeah. All right. So Steven Crowder, way back when his first started YouTube, he started talking about his mom being Jewish, and he made skits about Jewish gangsters beating up anti-Semites. Well, there you go, folks. And now you know. And now you know. The more you know, right? That was back in 2007, 8. I sort of remember him back then, and like I, I just thought he was like some kind of a college dude, that like made fun of liberals. and like that was his shtick. It was like, look at me, I'm triggering the liberals, ha 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 ha. Which right now is really just kind of juvenile. It's boring. But back in 2020, 2007 or 8 or whatever, that would have been like so funny. Okay, whatever. So I've been kind of working on this theory that, you know, what we call governments are really just mafias, and that like throughout history they're just I don't know, that might be a little dark or something. I don't know if that's a legit concept or something, but I don't know. It's sort of I don't. That's not really a fair assessment. I think that there's been noble kings or legitimate governments, etc. But um, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, looking at what's her face, Candace Owens, and then also the Young Turks, listening to this Jewish oligarch talking about how we can send anti-Semites to these jails. We can destroy them. We can do blah 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 blah, all this stuff, and then and it's all done via the U.S. government. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there was a look on their faces like, is this real? Am I literally hearing this right? And there's definitely a real fear there. Um, I don't know, dude. I believe I forget what it's called. There's some kind of ID, real ID, I think it's called, where If you want to fly, you gotta use this so-called real ID in order to fly now. And I mean that again, all this shit's fucking communist playbook shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just the old fucking standards. Like control people's movement, control their money. You know, it always boils down to what the fuck do we do? How the fuck do we get out of this? How do we handle this? And everybody's like, well, build your own communities. And I'm like, for how long? Like how long is that gonna work? I don't know. I mean, that's nice, and it's, I'm not knocking it. I don't mean to do that, but you get what I'm trying to say, I think, right? It's, how can that really be sustainable in the long run? So there was a question here. Hold on. You mentioned Jason Kuna's stance on the JQ a while ago. Did you have a question? Even though I've had a massive falling out with Jason, I still think that his strategy will be a keystone to us reclaiming our destiny. Well, hit me up, man. Give me your argument for that. Like, what's the strategy? I mean, I know that he uses a lot of linguistics in his work. I actually had a little just a small interaction with him. I kind of went back to an old interview I did on his show, and it was just a knockout interview. It was just so good. And I'm like, oh man, this is sweet. This is really cool to listen to, and it's just as relevant as it ever was. And I'm really grateful that you had me on the show. And he was like Promethean Hills, so it's cool. But I don't really follow his content, so I don't kind of really know 100% what's going on anymore with him. I'm still connected with Yiz and her community. She has me on her show once in a while. I just think I'm kind of burned out on the I don't know. There's just so much talk show stuff going on in our culture. Let's retool our time and energy into something that does something. I mean, these things count. They count. They're it's culture. You're hanging out with your bros, and you're doing your thing. But I don't know, man. I just always feel like, shouldn't we be building an ark or something? Shouldn't we be, I think you guys understand what I mean. So this is, I'm basically showing the aftermath of him blowing the roof off the house. He blasts his eye beams up through the top of the house, which is here in that scene. And so in this scene, there is no ceiling anymore, and it's just like debris and fire. I think it's time for water. Hold on. So, Victorian time traveler, if you could expand on how you think Jason's strategy will be a keystone to us reclaiming our destiny. I should like to know that. I should like to know that. I'm very curious. So what I'm thinking more in terms of is like some kind of event that could that would in some way hit sort of like rural country folk in a way that would be meaningful to kind of demonstrate this is where we're at and what are you going to do about it kind of. What that is, what shape that takes, I have no idea. It's kind of always the trick of these things. Trying to come up with like a creative problem solving strategy. But I feel like that's the kind of the last line of defense. I guess that's a poor choice of words, but people in the suburbs are kind of, you know, driving their nice cars and, they just have their eye on their next vacation or their retirement. There, there's a lot of liberals in the suburbs, a lot of white liberals. And they like to talk a big game and then kind of act all sweet, poo-poo, la la la, whatever. Look how liberal I am, whatever. But they don't know fuck shit. Like, if you're so liberal, then why don't you live in the east, the west side, the east side? You know what I mean. There's a lot of Karens in there, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. And the Karens are kind of like the terrorists of like anti-whiteism. You know what I mean? Like they're the ones that keep people down, that make sure that the men, are not running past the leash. And don't be too masculine, don't say bad things about foreigners. But I feel like country folk are way, way more like they just don't have those kind of sociological gears and buttons. You know what I'm saying? You can talk about Muslims with them, and they'll be, they'll listen to you. They won't try to be like, oh, you're racist. They won't try to police you or whatever. So, like, I feel like the country folk are the ones that really have. I think they're the ones that it's going to boil down to. Like, they're the ones that are really going to make something happen, if anything happens. I was just thinking about Amish people the other day and how, like, they can't exist without us. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what if, like, somebody decides that, oh, we need more Venezuelan gang members in Amish town. Who's going to stop that? I mean, we're not stopping it for our own communities. Why the fuck would we? When I say we, of course, I don't mean you and I. But it's just an interesting observation. That's a nice song. All right. Well, even though I read that, I don't think all of my comments are going through. I'll send you an email. Okay. I've heard a lot recently. People have been saying that they think their comments are being deleted. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? That's very weird, and that's a recent thing. That's not That's not, never had that problem. And then now I have that fucking problem. So something's going on. Ben Shapiro's working at YouTube, going through my videos. You know what's interesting though? So back to the good ones conversation. Like, can't remember his first name. Something Smith. He's like a very popular kind of right wing vlogger commentator dude that you see a lot. I think he used to be a comedian, and he's just been going really, really hard on the JQ. And he's Jewish, and he says he's Jewish. And I'm sort of thinking like people like that. If the shit hits the fan, like what happens to him? You know what I'm saying? Like how is that going to play out? This is an interesting concept. Time Traveler says, what we need is a white organization that is similar to the ADL. I thought about that some years ago. I think that's a perfect idea. Of course we do. That's exactly what we need. Something that, a legal institution that monitors anti-whiteism on the internet and elsewhere and stands up for that. There is what's it called? Justice Report. Have you ever heard of Justice Report? I'd look it up. Like they have a website, but there's like a Telegram group and stuff. And it's not a legal organization. It's like a news aggregate, but it's all, you know, anti-whiteism basically. Like the entire scope of the news in Justice Report is bad things that happen to white people. Like whatever murders, rapes, legal injustices, on and on and on and on. There's just so much fucking shit going on against us, like all the time. It's fucked up. It's super fucked up. And then you go online and you like hear these anti-white douchebags like say like really just god awful things about whites, and you're like, you're living in a goddamn bubble. You don't fucking know anything what's actually going on. And like the things you say are so brutal, they're so cold, And it's disheartening to say the least. Let's read. Let's see. Hippocratic Oath says, I think I can read all of Victorian's comments, so I'm guessing Donald is being blocked from seeing the chat. Holy shit. What the fuck? Hippocratic Oath, can you reiterate the comments that I'm not seeing? Because I didn't see anything explaining this question about Jason Kuna that I just asked. I don't see anything for that. Something is fucking up. It's like a shadow ban or something. Interesting. Someone is actively shadow banning this fucking chat. Fucking retards. Get a life. No, must hurt white people. I must hurt white people. I have to censor them. Oh. Imagine hating white people that much. Yet crying racism at every turn. Fuck you. You're racist as shit. lies, lies, lies. Kingdom of lies. Oh, Lord. All right, let's read some comments here. I'm backing up. March of the Unbowed, Steel-Toed Truth. I stopped the ground. Oh, it's got to be Amfari. As soon as I'm reading it, I didn't read the name. I'm like, that's immediately, I know it's him. Amfari says, March of the Unbowed, Steel-Toed Truth. I stomp the ground. Where silence ruled, I bring the sound. Colonial thrones built on deceit. I spit on empire's blood-soaked seat. That's fucking awesome. You're just on fire, man. I love this man. He's incredible. Suburbs creep me out. I don't like them. Oh, you must live in the country. Splattercat's here. Hey, bro. I'm sorry. I won't break. I won't comply. Anti-Semitic till I die. Oh, God. Victorian is going to send you an email. Wow, man, this is weird. It's weird that I can't read his comments. Something is wrong. Something's definitely wrong there. What was it? I made a meme a while ago. You know the meme? I forget the guy. He's the singer. I think his name's Drake. And it's like the first images of him like kind of pushing away with like a ooh no I don't like that and then there'll be like some text next to him that he's rejecting, and then the next text he's like yeah that's the one with a smile and is pointing at it with a finger. You guys all know the meme. I know you know it. Well, I used that graphic, and in the top panel where he's cringing away it says anti-Semite, and then in the bottom panel I think it was like critical Semite theory, you know, or counter-Semitic. Yeah. So like, leftists are all about the war of words. Like, truth means nothing to them. It's just the words. They could change the meaning of anything by the words and etc. So they'll say, "Oh, are you racist?" And I say, "No, definitely not. I'm a race realist." "Oh, are you anti-Semitic?" "Oh, no way. I'm counter-Semitic." So like I'll throw these terms at them, and then they're like, "I don't know how to fight you because I don't understand that word, but I know something's not right." Like I know that, like, you're not complying, you're not bowing down, you're not getting in line with the rest of the sheep, and so I if I can't control you, then I don't like you. Think about that. If I can't control you, I don't like you. It's fucking petty that is, like how like what's the word? There's something very authoritarian about that. You know what I mean? Like when I say authoritarian, I mean like you know, like almost totalitarian. Like I'm in charge of you. You must bow to the cult of bullshit. Anyway, let's move on. All right, I'm gonna zoom in a bit on this here. You know what I'll do? Getting really tired though. I think we're gonna have to wrap it up shortly here and take a shower before I hit the sack. Hit the sack, Jack. So we're back to these eyes. You know, I'm gonna be inking these eyes here. Which are those eyes? You know. Not only that, I have to colorize it. I don't know how I want to do this. Do I want to ink? So I'm asking you guys this question. This is not for you. This is for me to know the answer. So I want to make it like he's gone dark. He's turned like he's transformed into this dark MAGA character. And with his eyes being black like that, I had the idea that his tears would be black and that they would stain his face. So in this scene here, well, this panel, I should say, you can kind of see, like, you know how Batman has like black ink, or not ink, but makeup around his eyes so that, you know, it just blends in with the mask. Well, it's something like that, you know, around, only yeah, it's something like that. The question is, should I ink it? Should I like literally make it black like I had it here? In fact, I already did it here, so see how his tears are black here, you know. I think I'm gonna have to, or should I have the colorist do it? You know what I mean? That's kind of the question. Oh, so many questions, la la la. I wish you guys could see the new lettered pages that I just got. It's like finally coming alive. It's really nice to see. Um, okay, monarchs act without your knowledge or permission. Tyrants demand your belief and compliance. That almost sounds poetic. You know what I mean? What you're saying? Monarchs act without your knowledge or permission. Tyrants demand your belief and compliance. So this comes back to one of my big questions: is like, if you are all powerful, why the fuck do you need to put on a huge show for the public, you know, to believe in? I think democracy is this enormous theater that it's just a type of football. It's kind of like the elites are watching us play football against each other for their amusement, watching us fight with each other for their amusement. This stupid sheep fighting over Democrat, Republican, this candidate, that. When they do any fucking thing they want and there's nobody to stop them. And most of what they do, we have no fucking idea what it is. There's only cracks, you know, there's cracks where the light comes through, and you get, you know, people like, you know, Brendan O'Connell who can put it together, or, you know, various other people. We do that. We put the pieces together. You know what I mean? But like, what's the fucking point of all this show? You know, and you know, it's just like empty. It's totally empty. I don't get it. You know, like, why waste all that time and energy? I don't know. It just seems foolish to me. Uh, my only answer is that they get some kind of perverse thrill out of watching us, you know, struggle. I guess that's the only thing I can really come up with. Well, gents, I don't think I was in the top form tonight. I'm sorry. Just I've been a little down recently, but at least I wasn't as bad as last night. You guys make the show interesting, not me. Like, you make it more interesting than I do, with your cool questions and comments and poetry, and just like, if I could get all you guys in one room together at one time, imagine how fucking amazing that would be. You know, wouldn't that be just insane? We could start our own government or religion or something. All right, Splattercat already knows where I'm headed with this. Yes, gents, I'm gonna call it a night here. Thank you so much for joining. I really, really enjoy your friendship and your time, your insights, your commentary, your jokes, all of it. It's just lifts up my spirit, gives me the energy to go on. So thank you. I hope you have a great day tomorrow. Easter's coming up. I hope you guys can celebrate that and all good things to you. All right. God bless. See you next time.